Today on NewsWatch, Donald Trump gaining ground on the heels of Clinton's health scare. We've got the latest on the race in the battleground states. Plus, cholesterol isn't the culprit. See why the evidence now shows another food ingredient is causing deadly inflammation in our bodies. And
it's the story of who God is, that he loves ordinary people, he loves everybody, and that he has a plan for everybody.
We'll take you behind the scenes of the new Hillsong movie, Let Hope Rise. And we appreciate your company. Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Hillary Clinton is back on the campaign trail after taking a break to recover from pneumonia. Her campaign is now releasing additional medical information amid concerns about other potential health issues. And Donald Trump surprises television host Dr. Oz during a recent interview with the results of a recent physical. Caitlin Burke has more.
Dueling medical releases in the fight for the White House. Appearing on the television show Dr. Oz, Donald Trump offered up some new information on his health.
If elected at age 70, you will be the oldest person to ever enter the Oval Office. Why do you think you have the stamina for the job?
I feel as good today as I did when I was 30.
The Republican presidential nominee then went on to hand the show's host a letter with details from a recent physical. Just hours later, additional medical records released from the Clinton camp, providing more information about her pneumonia diagnosis and general health. Her doctor saying she's recovering and is fit to serve as president. Both candidates are back on the campaign trail today, with Trump set to make a speech on the economy at the Economic Club of New York. Clinton, meanwhile, will spend the day in one of the key swing states in the election, North Carolina. National polls show a very tight race, and the race is close throughout the country, including in battleground states. But Trump is gaining ground. According to a new CNN poll, he's pulled ahead of Clinton in both Ohio, where he now leads by 5 points, and Florida, where he has a 3-point lead. Still, this race has already taken several twists and turns, and more may still lie ahead, especially with all 3 presidential debates yet to come. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Republican leaders have decided to delay impeaching IRS Commissioner John Koskinen. They believe the IRS illegally targeted conservative groups like the Tea Party. When Republicans launched an investigation into these claims, Koskinen allegedly tried to disrupt the investigation, sparking a major GOP effort to impeach the commissioner. But they are now holding off until he answers those allegations next week before Congress. The Atlantic Coast Conference is moving its championships out of North Carolina for the 2016-2017 season. The action came Wednesday in response to the state's bathroom law. It prevents cities and counties from passing protections based on sexual orientation and gender identity. The ACC's actions allow the lead of the NCAA, which is also relocating their championships. The ACC commissioner said he hopes to, quote, there will be opportunities beyond 2016-2017 from North Carolina's neutral sites to be awarded championships. The bathroom battle may also be coming to churches in Massachusetts. A new law forbids discrimination on the basis of gender identity in public places, including churches. It could discourage churches from hosting events tailored to the public. The measure goes into effect October 1st, 2 years before the state would get a chance to vote on it. But opponents are racing to repeal the law by October 6. A disturbing sight in the capital city of Bangladesh. The country is celebrating an Islamic holiday with mass animal sacrifices. Now the city streets have been turned into rivers of blood. The Islamic festival is considered the Feast of Sacrifice. Muslims slaughter animals to honor Abraham. Residents have been using parking lots, garages, and alleys to kill the animals, and heavy rains have washed all the blood into the street. Actor and director George Clooney says he has uncovered widespread corruption among South Sudan's top government leaders. Clooney says a 2-year investigation by a human rights group found the country's president and other prominent leaders profiting from a deadly war. George Thomas has the details.
Salva Kiir became South Sudan's president in 2011. But since then, tens of thousands of people have lost their lives, many of them civilians, as a conflict pitting him and rival political leaders have gripped the nation. Now, Hollywood actor and activist George Clooney is blaming Kiir and his rivals of making fortunes from the deadly conflict.
We're prepared to give evidence of massive criminal behavior by the president of South Sudan and by his opposition, the ousted vice president of South Sudan and their generals.
Clooney, who co-founded a human rights organization called the Sentry, says a 2-year investigation found that South Sudan's warring parties had manipulated and exploited ethnic divisions in order to build up wealth for themselves.
The simple fact is, they're stealing the money to fund their militias to attack and kill one another.
It's all found in a new report called War Crimes Shouldn't Pay, stopping the looting and destruction in South Sudan. Clooney claims politicians who earn modest salaries are suddenly amassing fortunes with help from offshore properties and business deals.
It involves arms dealers, international lawyers, international banks, international real estate.
South Sudan's government called the report rubbish and misleading. Still, John Prendergast, a human rights activist who co-founded the Sentry Group with Clooney, says what's happening in South Sudan is tantamount to war crimes, and the country's leaders are getting away with it.
South Sudan leaders no longer take seriously the threats made by the United Nations, by the United States, and others to impose consequences for their behavior.
The country was plunged into conflict in 2013 following a dispute between Kiir and his political rival, former Vice President Riek Machar. South Sudan gained independence 5 years ago, becoming the newest nation to enter the global community. Since then, the political situation in this country has been tumultuous, to say the least. The two main political parties have been fighting each other, vying for influence, and just haven't been able to come together. In recent months, both sides have resorted to brutal acts, including mass gang rape.
South Sudan's leaders have learned that rape as a war weapon, child soldier recruitment, and mass killings are not enough to trigger any meaningful accountability measures.
Prendergast says the international community must do more to crack down on banks and other institutions that are being used by politicians to funnel millions.
We're proposing to combine anti-money laundering measures with targeted sanctions focused on the top leaders, accompanied by robust enforcement.
Clooney claims their investigation clearly shows that in South Sudan, it pays to commit war crimes. And if it isn't stopped, the consequences could be devastating.
The United States and the world recognizes that South Sudan cannot become a failed state, not simply because of the humanitarian crisis, but also because we have seen the influences that can take hold in a failed state. We can either take action now or we can spend the next decade mopping up the mess.
George Thomas, CBN News, South Sudan.
A new report says business is booming for religion. The Washington Post reports researchers discovered religion contributes more to the economy than Facebook, Google, and Apple combined. Faith-based enterprises like churches, charities, and gospel artists make some $378 billion a year. For churches, most of the money comes from tithes and offerings. But faith businesses like Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A also contribute billions. Coming up, it may be a real shocker why doctors are now saying cholesterol is good for you and people with high cholesterol could live longer. Most people believe fats are the main cause of heart disease, but doctors say that's because of a false report. It turns out sugar companies have worked hard to cover up the truth that sugar is the culprit. A new report reveals the sugar industry paid for scientific studies that would show saturated fat caused heart disease and not sugar. Bribery took place in the 60s, misleading millions of Americans about the dangers of sugar for decades. The American Heart Association will now issue warnings about sugar consumption as a risk for heart disease as well. Cholesterol has been considered public health enemy number one for decades, but now research shows high cholesterol is actually a good thing. So what is the deal? Health reporter Lori Johnson brings us the latest findings about fat.
20 years ago, doctors told us to stay away from high-fat foods like butter, cheese, bacon, and eggs because they raised cholesterol and could lead to heart disease. America responded and stopped eating fat. In its place, however, we ate more sugar and other carbohydrates. And how'd that work out? Not great. As a whole, Americans grew fatter and sicker than before. It looks like back then, scientists may have reached the wrong conclusion.
A growing number of medical experts now say things like weight gain, heart disease, and other illnesses are not caused by cholesterol, but by something different called inflammation.
That means instead of avoiding foods that raise our cholesterol, we need to avoid foods that cause inflammation. Dr. Beverly Teeter studies how different kinds of fat in food affect our health. She says scientists wrongly blamed cholesterol for heart disease when they saw high levels of it in damaged blood vessels. Teeter believes the body put the cholesterol there to fix the problem, which was actually caused by something else, inflammation.
It's the inflammation in the vessels that start the lesion. The body then sends the cholesterol like a scab to cover over it and protect the blood system and that vessel wall from further damage.
Research also shows cholesterol can protect against respiratory and gastrointestinal problems, helps create vitamin D, and people with high cholesterol tend to live longer.
I come from a family that my mother's side had naturally high cholesterol. Her cholesterol was between 380 and 420 when I started watching her medical records, and she died at 97. So I don't think that cholesterol was too bad for her.
It's also especially important in the brain, which contains more cholesterol than any other organ and needs cholesterol in order for brain cells to pass messages to each other. So when it comes to food choices, Dr. Teeter says don't worry if it raises your cholesterol. Focus your attention on reducing inflammation with omega-3s and natural saturated fats. Some fats, however, cause inflammation, so avoid too many omega-6s and trans fats. How do you tell the healthy omega-3s from the unhealthy omega-6 fats? Vegetable oils and mayonnaise contain high levels of omega-6s, so be careful how much you consume. As far as omega-3s, such as fish, olive oil, and walnuts, take an extra helping or a daily fish oil supplement. At one time, dietitians considered margarine, a trans fat, heart healthy. We now know a better choice is butter. In the last 20 years, trans fats have become the ingredient of choice for almost all processed foods. You can tell something contains trans fat if you see the word hydrogenated in the list of ingredients. Natural saturated fats can also cut down on inflammation. Topping the list, coconut oil, which fights colds and the flu and has even reversed the symptoms of Alzheimer's, ALS, and Parkinson's disease in some people. Now that you know some of the good about fats, you should also remember those foods that make you fat and increase inflammation. On that list, it's hard to top sugar and other refined carbohydrates, wheat, corn, rice, and so on. So when it comes to your health, inflammation beats out cholesterol as the new enemy. Take it on by saying yes to foods like fish and coconut oil and no to sugar, other carbs, and trans fats. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Up next, they're a church, a band, and a television network, and now the subject of a major motion picture. We'll go behind the scenes of Hillsong, Let Hope Rise. Hillsong began as a tiny church in Australia. Now they worship in more than a dozen locations around the globe, and on any given Sunday, some 15 million churchgoers sing songs from Hillsong music. One Hollywood producer attended a service and felt their story needed to be told on the big screen. Tomorrow, that movie hits theaters.
What treasure waits within your sky? gift of freedom, gold can't buy.
They call themselves a ragtag collection of musicians, but the results tell a different story. Hillsong United songs are sung in 60 different languages, and the band has sold more than 17 million albums.
Not that it was like we just set out to write songs that our friends would listen to and like, you know, so we would listen to bands that we liked and then, you know, want to make music that kind of was culturally relevant, I guess. And then, I mean, you couldn't have scripted how this has happened, and like we never set out to tour the world and like to make music full time, but it's just been one step after the other of trusting God.
He used to do stuff like that, but he doesn't anymore.
While someone might not have scripted the story, the band's rise to chart-topping musicians is told on screen in the feature film, Hillsong, Let Hope Rise.
It's not about a church or about what we do with writing songs or making music or serving God. It's the story of who God is, that he loves ordinary people, he loves everybody, and that he has a plan for everybody, and everybody on earth is invited into his story.
What's that? I was just writing a line.
The Hillsong story got the attention of director Michael John Warren, the mind behind rap giants Jay-Z's Fade to Black and Nicki Minaj's My Time Now. And he is not a Christian.
I'm a music nerd. I love music more than I love film.
So you go from doing films on Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj to Hillsong?
Yeah.
Natural progression?
Yeah, actually. You know, with music films, the story is a little bit challenging, you know, because what's really at stake for a pop artist? And the answer is, you know, they're trying to stay hot. They're trying to prove they're the best rapper. I mean, there's a lot of drama there. And certainly with an artist like Nicki, there's just drama. Thank God. And for them, with Hillsong, for me, I saw a unique story. Their mission is to connect people to heaven. And as a storyteller, I was like, that's unique.
Even though an estimated 50 million churchgoers sing Hillsong's music each week, Hollywood's interest still surprises band members. I know that when they first said a movie about Hillsong United, you guys said, why make a movie about us? So now that we've got it, what do you think?
Kind of the same. Is anyone going to want to watch it?
Yeah. I love that the message of, again, the things that we actually care about, the thing that we want to encourage people the most is actually threaded throughout the film. And I think Hillsong Let Hope Rise it's a film that has a message of hope.
That uplifting message rings out in the story of how singer Taya Smith became part of the band. Taya, I guess one of the things that surprised me in the film is you arrive in Sydney with $200 and just, Lord, use me?
Yeah, it was a faith step. It was a faith step. Moved out of home, felt like it was the right time, even though, like you said, I only had $200 in the bank, but I was just trusting God with it. And turns out it was the best move I could have ever made, and it was like God's timing.
In many ways, the band's success story echoes that of Hillsong Church.
When we started a church on the outskirts of Sydney, Australia, we were just thinking about people coming back next week, really. Yeah, I've always been a visionary, but our whole story's been a great story.
One that points upward to heaven.
My heart beating, my soul breathing. I found my life when I laid it down.
And that's the entire point of the film.
I just think when people can walk into an atmosphere like that and sense God's presence, their eyes are lifted that there's probably more to this world than they realise.
Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger
doing this film change you in any way?
Absolutely. Being around people like that is meaningful, and it helped me become a better person. Everyone asks me, all my non-Christian friends are like, are you saved? I'm like, no, I'm not. I haven't been saved, but I'm a better person now. And I feel like I have, I feel like you take what you know, I feel like I have like a role model, sort of how to treat people and how to be more loving.
For an unbeliever, that's a seed planted. Film hits theaters tomorrow. It is definitely worth seeing, so we can keep it in theaters. We'll be right back. It's Thursday and time for your Thursday Thankful. Consider this. Thank you, Lord, for faith. I know that you deal to every man a measure of it. I also know it is evidence. Without it, a doubter often prays for what he already has. Are you asking God for things he's already planted in your life? Remember, faith is the evidence that you already have it, and continue to say thank you for it. You know, that is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about, and you can always find it at cbnnews.com. We love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today and beyond. Thank you so much. You can comment on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. It is Thursday. Make it a thankful one. We'll see you right back here come tomorrow. Have a blessed Thursday, everybody.